Sup people, it's your boy Slide. In this video, I'm going to talk about the current state of isolation. So many people understand that isolation is pretty much when a person is alone, right? This is a huge effect on society because it affects the way people think and reason, right? So it's starting to affect me at this point, gradually. It's starting to affect me because I don't do anything. Like I told you that before, I don't do anything. I literally go to my job and that's pretty much it. And sometimes it's like people on my job, I talk to them. They're pretty cool people, but we're coworkers. That's it. Nothing more. So as time goes on, it's like, what is there to do? I've read articles online about how many people don't really socialize based on the area they live in. Most major cities in the US and parts of Canada, people are not that social. People don't like to meet anybody new. So you now find yourself in a tight situation. It reminds me of a lot of times when I would go into the city, right? And what do you see most of the time? Or better yet, what do I see most of the time? I see a lot of people walking alone, eating alone, and that's it. And the people who are alone most of the time, it's not by choice. What kind of life are you supposed to live if you have no interactions with people? There are some people today who have money or people who are well off, okay? They literally have no one to spend time with. Literally. So what's the point of you having money if you can't spend time with anybody? So if you have people who are well off having a hard time to socialize, imagine someone who's not well off. I watched a documentary, I watched a clip online in Vancouver about social interactions. And what's happening in the US is also happening there. You have people out there who don't like to meet new people. They view people as creeps if you try to talk to them in public, mainly women. So you can imagine the way people are. It's like you get along to get along, but you really don't want to get along. Kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you are in the public area, right? Common courtesy. You open doors for people. You help them carry heavy objects or their groceries if they need it. It's common courtesy. But you're not doing it because you like the person or because you want to know who that person is. It's just common courtesy. And this is what is happening. This same stuff is happening in Vancouver. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. So you have people out there, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. Do I blame them? No, it's not their fault. Sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it's based on their environment. Most major cities in the United States and in Canada is one of the worst places to be because people are not too friendly, they're not too social. And this is why I made up my mind I'm not going to live here anymore. I mean, I wanted to move to Canada so bad. I want to move to Canada. Canada's the best place. It's the same thing as the US. It's the exact same thing. The reason why I like Canada is that people are a little bit more friendly than Americans are. And they have a better economy. That's it. But overall, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What kind of life are you going to live where there's no interactions? See, people don't understand this, but you need human interactions. Okay? Talking on the telephone is not human interaction. It's not. You need face-to-face interactions with people. You need it. Living out here is just one of the most difficult things ever. Because I have met people who spend their times alone, and they themselves don't want to meet up with anybody new. They really don't. You try hanging out with them, they'll give you an excuse. So this is stuff you have to deal with in America. I don't like this kind of life. And people don't understand why I get annoyed. Because people don't understand that you need people. You need it. You need human interactions. When I go out in Seattle, sometimes, most of the time, I see people walking alone. Because some people are going to work, so they are rushing to work. I understand that. Then you have people out there who just exercising alone, which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that really gets to me is that majority of people you see become accustomed to doing things alone. And that's the scary part. When I go out, sometimes I see some groups of people together. You know, I see some groups, but they're not many like before. It's not many. Like, I see many like immigrants in groups together a lot. I've seen it. Americans, not so much. Not so much. I haven't seen a lot. And when you speak on these topics, people will think you're crazy. People will look at you as if you're insane. And this is the thing you have to understand. Okay, let me give you a little bit of something I've seen, okay? When I drive around Seattle area, right, and parts of Washington, I normally see very nice infrastructures. They have nice roads, trees, clean air. It's like you feel great being in those cities. Same thing in Vancouver. You know, I've been to Vancouver. I've been to those other neighboring towns around Vancouver, like Surrey, Langley. When you drive to those areas, you're like, oh my gosh, it looks very nice. It's very polished, very clean. and everything. You'll be like, oh man, I want to live in this place. That's how nice it is. But once you pass the exterior, that's it. That's all it is. It's just a nice infrastructure. Nothing else. There's nothing else there. You know? That's the thing I'm trying to explain. Living in America, in Canada, you have nice infrastructures. You have nice services. But that's it. There's no human interactions out here. There really isn't. So you end up doing things alone. So now people are now living in this space bubble where they don't want anyone talking to them. So guess what happens now? They spend their time on social media apps, dating apps, and all that other stuff. This is what's going on. There's no social life out here. There really isn't. Don't get me wrong, when someone has a concert, people are going to go. People are going to have a good time. They're going to, enjoy themselves. But that's pretty much all it's going to be. Okay? But people don't get it. People don't get it, though. Me, myself, I am just an average person. Just like many people here. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. And I know people are going to speak somehow and be like, well, you have to change yourself. And it's all nonsense. Because there are some people out here, they go to the Caribbean islands. Some go to like Latin America. Some go to Asian countries. They can just be themselves. And they can make friends and they can kick it. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it so many times. But in the US, people here are striving to have a basic life. And if they can get the lifestyle they want, they'll be okay. But to most Americans, once they get the lifestyle they want more. So they're never truly satisfied, are they? Not really. So this isolation we're going through is getting larger and larger. People are living in the matrix, but they don't understand how they're in the matrix. They have no idea. They don't get it. This life we live in this society is very, very boring. And the thing is, no one is going to talk about it because it's going to make them look somehow. So you can't speak on these kinds of topics. You can't do it. If you speak on any issues you're going through in terms of like socializing and dating, people will look at you as if you're a weirdo. So now you have people with tensed up frustration. That's just the way it is. Anyhow, let me know what you think. Peace.